Okay, welcome to Moxie Monday, guys. I so appreciate you, again, always dedicating Monday nights, 9 p.m., to learn and to grow and to really just hang out. So can we be really cheesy right now and give each other a virtual hug? Come in with me. Are you feeling the love? Or are you feeling so dorky? But if you're feeling dorky, then you're in the right spot because our team is dorky. I'm just kidding. No, but really. I'm really not a cool person. I'm much cooler online, like so much cooler online. But I love you guys. I adore you guys. You keep me going. You keep me motivated, passionate, excited just because I get to wake up and think, okay, my mantra in life is love fast, live slow. And I think, okay, develop people, not myself. How can I develop people, not elevate myself? How can I develop the team? How can I develop my family? How can I develop their goals? Like, I literally go through this process every single day. When I'm in a funk, when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling up, when I'm feeling whatever, I think, how can I continue to develop the leaders on our team? For real, that's the first self-control moment in my day of, if I can develop them, I will be affirmed. So choosing that the third Monday of every month is our open public health and fitness tip. And it's not just open to our team, it's open to anybody because I really have a desire to help other people live healthy and fit outside of just Moxie. Obviously, that's why we're Beachbody coaches. But this is really an opportunity for us to share our knowledge and to elevate levels of expertise in a way that I think is gifted from God. Like, I am not knowledgeable in all these different areas. We've had people talk about sugar. We've had people talk about backaches. We're now having people talk about hormones. We've had people talk about sleep patterns. We've had people talk about self-esteem issues. These are incredible topics. And so without further ado, I am thrilled to introduce, I know you guys know her, but Chasity Tibbetts. She is a friend of mine. We met, in 2000, I guess it was 13, 14, maybe one of those years when I was in Cartersville, Georgia. She has a gym. Seriously, you just meet her in person. You just feel her warmth. You feel her, her love, her kindness, and she might be blushing right now, but seriously, she's just one of the warmest people you ever meet. And so when she called me up and she was like, hey, I am asking about coaching. I feel like, this is an opportunity for me to love on people and to serve people with the knowledge that I've studied for the past couple of years. And the first thing she told me is, I know a lot about hormones. I know a lot about women. I know a lot about girl stuff. And I know that there's a market out there who needs education on that. And I thought, hallelujah. Yes, they do, because I'm one of them. So, Chasity, I would love to join your team. But she is going to just share what she knows, and if we have questions, whatever, popcorn it out. But Chasity, I'm going to pass the reins over to you so we can just learn how to, be halfway normal women, right? I'm just kidding. Okay.
Okay. All right. My turn? Is it my turn? Ooh, okay. Well, I am ready right now from that very warm welcome. You're so sweet. And I definitely, I don't know it all. I definitely don't know it all. But I feel like for years, especially the past few years, my brain is full of a bunch of what I have been calling useless information. And I knew that there was a small niche of people that could benefit from it, but I didn't know how to get it out there. And so, yes, Inner Beachbody. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my backstory, but first I'm going to try to get your attention. Has anybody ever been prescribed the birth control pill for your periods? Have you been prescribed metformin or glucophage for insulin levels or PCOS? Have you been prescribed Clomid to get pregnant? Have you been given antibiotics or Accutane for acne? So my hand is raised to all of those, minus the Accutane, but I was given antibiotics for a very long time for my face because the birth control caused me my breakouts. I was told that I would likely get type 2 diabetes eventually I would have issues with high blood pressure. I would be infertile, and more than likely could develop heart disease, but that medications would be kind of manageable. With medications, that would all be manageable. So now I'm going to give you a little bit of who I am. First of all, I'm super excited. I missed this part. I'm super excited to be here. I'm honored, Laura, that you would ask me to do this. I feel like even though I do have some information, I feel honored that you would ask me. So thank you. And a little bit about me. I'm 35, I think. I never can remember. Once I hit 30, I was like, I don't know. I'm 30, 31, 32. I don't know. I'm 30. I'm in my 30s. I'm in my mid 30s. So anyways, I've been married for almost 17 years. August, it will be 17 years. That makes me sound super old. And we have one precious, amazing little boy that we were able to adopt from birth. And I've always had period problems from the get-go. Right away, they were super heavy. I mean, like, y'all, first of all, I know you all know that we're here for talking about hormones, but I'm going to get real TMI real quick, if everybody's okay with that. I'm going to say periods and much worse words. But my periods were always terrible to begin with. Very clotty and terrible. So some of you probably know the route that I took. My mom took me to the doctor. Doctor gave me birth control pills. I was on birth control pills until Corey and I got married. And then I knew that I just had this feeling that something wasn't right, and it would take us a while to have a baby. Take us a long time to have a baby. So anyways, I came off of them once we got married, and then my periods never came back. They never returned. So this kind of begins my long road down the medical route. And little did I know that those Band-Aid fixes were just further aggravating my gut and aggravating my hormones even more. All of those medications just sort of made it worse. I got so sick and tired of hearing, that there were no answers. Basically, the answers that I was given were just, it didn't make sense to me, because our bodies are designed in a way to essentially heal themselves. So if you get a cut on your arm, you don't have to do anything to that cut. Like, it heals itself. You just keep it clean and it'll heal up on its own. If you get a broken arm, you don't have to do anything. You just put it in a cast. It's going to heal up on its own. If you don't put it in a cast, it's still going to heal up, and it's going to heal up wonky. So our bodies, God designed our bodies to essentially heal itself. So and those of you that have had like a transformation with Shakeology, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Like, if you were nutrient deficient, or if there was something wrong with your body and you started drinking Shakeology, and you had this sort of this transformation story, and so you understand kind of what that means. You don't basically, with every symptom, your body is communicating with you in some way. You don't have to really PMS. That's a symptom. You don't have to live in the fetal position with painful periods. You don't have to live with bloat. You don't have to live with the cramping. These are symptoms, and this is something that I just learned. Like, these are symptoms of something that your body needs. And to me, that is like super exciting, because I feel like as women, we're just told, like, this is what we have to deal with. For 5 days a week, every month, we just have to deal with terrible periods. And that's not necessarily true. And when I learned this, I mean, it kind of blew my mind, because it was like puzzle pieces being filled in, and it just kind of, it was just amazing. And so once I started plugging in all of these things that I started to learn, I saw changes in my body. Anyway, so Shakeology does help with hormone. I mean, basically, hormonal issues, like I said, are deficiencies in our body, and so Shakeology does help with that. I know when I was, let's see, I think in August, I think I started with Beachbody, or with my first full thing of Shakeology. I had not had a period in 8 months, which that's normal. That was normal. That's my normal. I might have a period once a year, or maybe every twice. So you can imagine, right? Like what happened. I was a crazy lady. I felt like a crazy lady, because once in a while when I would have a period, I would feel like myself again. I would feel normal, and I would feel great. And then as time went on and months went on, I would go back down into that hole where I was just like, oh, I feel terrible. It's the worst. And I mean, there were days where I felt like I'm standing on like 2 chairs stacked up on each other, trying to like juggle like 6 different things, like with my head tilted and trying to get a good reception or something. Like I couldn't, it was terrible. And I just wanted to cry all the time. So anyways, I'm going to tell you guys first of all, I have to tell you. So 8 months, I had not had a period. I drank Shakeology for 2 months, and then I had my first period. And then I know, right? I know. And then 3 months later, I had another period. And so, and I really feel if everybody prays real, real, real hard, I do feel like I'm gearing up for another one. So that's huge for me. I mean, it might sound like that's not nothing. That is huge for me. And plus, I feel like I have myself. Anyway, so 2 books. I'm going to tell you guys, if you're taking notes, 2 books that you need to go out and get, like ASAP, especially if you're leading challenge groups every month, because not everybody's coming into your challenge groups healthy. Chances are there's more women that have hormonal issues than the ones that don't. And God bless that baby's heart. Is he the one with the ear infection? Golly. Okay, so Elisa Vitti, I don't know if anybody knows, has heard of her, but she wrote a book called The Woman Code, and it has been life-changing. Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom by Dr. Christine Northrup. That is another fantastic book. And if anybody's interested, thank you, Laura, for doing that. So I can show links to the books and all afterwards. But and also I'll mention it, but there's a period tracker, an app that I will have to try to remember to tell you guys. But basically, she talks about functional nutrition. All of our Beachbody programs that we do, they all like cross-train the muscles, right? I mean, just so it requires this sort of function of working the best muscles at the best time. And so that's where Elisa Vitti, that's where she kind of says that's the best way that I have found that my body works best, when we come at it at like this cross training method. I think we should be doing when it comes to our cycles and our hormonal health. It's kind of that same idea. It's called cycle syncing. She calls it cycle syncing. And because we have different phases, we go through different phases. Like we have our menstrual phase, right? We have a follicular phase, we have an ovulatory phase, and we have a luteal phase, the PMS phase. Most women, like, okay, I know the luteal phase, I know the PMS phase, and I know the bleeding phase. And unless you're like, you've struggled with infertility, you might not even know that there's an ovulatory phase, right? So there are 4 phases, and no matter what you're dealing with, heavy periods, infertility, cystic ovaries, endometriosis, fibroids, heavy, terrible PMS. No matter what your condition is, you're coming at it from this like sort of functional standpoint. And so it really is kind of this, you're working with the endocrine system. And so it is this kind of one size fits all solution. So our hormones change throughout our cycle, which makes us change throughout our cycle. I mean, each week of our cycle, basically, you're hormonally different in your body. You have different surges, you have different hormones, your brain chemistry is different. So this is where it gets really interesting for me and for us as coaches too, working with women. So if you work with all of these changes, that can make your life so much easier, so much better, and really more successful. I mean, if you are trying to turn on your TV with a remote control with only one battery in the remote control, that's not going to work. So similarly, if you're trying to hit your goals or push through that plateau, lose 10 pounds or whatever it is, naturally, without leveraging that, naturally you're not going to find success that way. You're not going to really, without working with your body in that kind of cystically, hormonally kind of way, it's just not going to work as well. So that being said, I'm going to talk about really quick. How much longer? I don't even know how long I'm talking. Keep me right. Okay. So I want to talk about how to exercise in the flow, because not everybody, like I said, not everybody's coming to you in pristine hormone health. Okay. So if they're not, 21-day fix is not going to be the best for them. And you kind of have to know what they're if anybody, I'm on my phone, so if anybody's like asking questions, Laura, will you let me know, because I'm not really seeing it very well. So anyways, if somebody's coming to you, or if you have a challenger in your group and they've hit this plateau and they're like, I just can't, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, nothing's happening, but you know that they have hormonal issues, then it's really good to know where they are in their cycle, what kind of hormonal issues. Like I had extreme adrenal fatigue when I started Beachbody coaching. I was not able to work out. I had not had a period in 8 months. So no working out whatsoever. Like even a walk was a lot for me. So for 2 months I was a Beachbody coach and I couldn't show any workouts like whatsoever. And then after I did have a period, it was just very, very light. And so now I'm listening to my body a little bit more. I know when I can push it, when I can't. I know a little bit more about adrenal fatigue and what that feels like. And a lot of you can Google adrenal fatigue. I would be shocked if not. I bet 75% of us are struggling with adrenal fatigue. And it's just knowing how to take better care of our challengers, our clients and our customers when they come into a group, so that we can help them really reach their goals in the best way possible. P90X is, like I said, P90X, 21-day fix. It might not be what they need at that point, and they're not going to get results doing that. Whereas if they did 3-week yoga retreat, the pounds might shed off, because that's more of nurturing and nourishing their body at that time. So anyway, I will talk about that really, really quick. I also wanted to say, I can get real gross real quick. If you say you're nerdy, Laura, I'm like gross. I'm just TMI all the time. So I can talk about poop. I can tell you how healthy you are by the size of your poo or the color of your poo. I'm just kidding. I mean, I can, but I won't go there. But the so your period. If anybody had any specific questions, I really do. And Elisa Vitti talks a little bit more about that in her book. And she also, flowliving.com, you can follow her and get her newsletters. And she has lots of deeper programs. One that I did that kind of helped me learn a bunch about this stuff. But she has a part in her book, and I was like, oh my gosh, why does nobody ever talk about this stuff? Or so basically, by your flow, I could tell if you're high in estrogen, if you're I can tell where your hormone levels are just depending on the color and the consistency of your blood. Have I like grossed everybody out thoroughly? So, but it all makes so much sense. I mean, it is so crazy. I was able to tell, I mean, along with other things, but this was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I do have low progesterone. I don't, because of the way that I bleed and the way that my cycle was, my flow was in my cycle when I had one. So, I mean, it's simple things like if you are crazy PMSing and you just want to eat like some Ben and Jerry's on the couch. Sometimes it's not like, don't beat yourself up for that, because sometimes it has nothing to do with willpower. And I think some of us know that willpower is like this myth. Like it doesn't have to do with willpower sometimes. Sometimes it has to do with like, my body is asking me for this, like this other specific thing, but it's manifesting as a sugar craving. So sugar cravings, basically what that means is, in my PMS kind of phase, I need to eat more vitamin B. And when I take more vitamin B, when I eat more leafy greens, all that good stuff, if I eat more root vegetables, then that takes away the sugar craving. And I'm telling you, like, I was the biggest sugar, like, I wouldn't just have like a brownie. And I hated my friends that were like, oh, that's too much chocolate. Oh, gross. That's just too. I was like, I would have that brownie, and then I would eat the pan, and then I would go back to the kitchen to try to make another pan. And I know all of you with PCOS, you know what I'm talking about, because that sugar bug, that sugar monster is like crazy strong, right? So, this was a huge thing. So now I know, like, if I am craving chocolate or if I'm craving whatever, I need to eat more roasted root vegetables. I mean, I need more sweet potato in my life. And when I have sweet potato, then I don't crave the chocolate. And this stuff is just mind blowing to me. So, if you're bloated, then, I mean, and I know a lot of us, because we're all drinking Shakeology, so we're all kind of on that same, like, plane, that health and fitness. So none of this is like super groundbreaking, but if you're bloated, you need more leafy greens. The calcium and the magnesium together in the leafy greens kind of flushes your system, and then you're not bloated. So I know that, like, if you're dealing with weight gain or weight that just won't go away, or like I said, bloating or irregular periods, if you're dealing with headaches during PMS, or just crazy mood swings, or even, breast tenderness. These are signs of estrogen, that's too much estrogen in your system, or too little progesterone. And these are super easy fixes. These are not fixes that we have to go to the doctor and get on medication for. That's going to further aggravate our gut and then cause all kinds of other problems. God made food as medicine. Medicine is food, and every single thing that we put in our mouths, it's either going to help heal us or hurt us. There is no gray area, and that is something I'm super passionate about. I don't live by it every day, but I try to, because every single thing we put in our mouth, it's helping or it's harming us. No gray area. And so, especially for us with hormonal issues, PCOS, endometriosis, whatever it is, you have to come at life, you're nutrient deficient. So every single decision that you make, every single thing that you put in your mouth, you have to think of it as, am I helping to heal my body today, or am I helping to hurt it? And so I know for me, if I indulge, which I did, like at Christmas, my birthday is in January. I indulged. I celebrated the fact that I started a period 2 days before Christmas. I was like, praise him, Jesus, yes, give me all the food. And I celebrated, and it's March, and I'm still waiting on that period. And I know it's because if I put something in my body, it can throw off ovulation for 3 months. So it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. It's bonkers. Okay, so real quick, how am I doing on time? Okay. So I want to talk about birth control because I know that most of us, especially with PCOS, has you've been prescribed birth control. And I'm not against birth control if you're healthy and you're trying to do it for the right reasons, but there's so many women that are using it for the wrong reason, to mask or put a Band-Aid fix on the symptoms of an underlying hormonal issue. So I'm going to read some statistics, and I feel like these statistics are even higher, but 31% are prescribed birth control pills to reduce cramps or pain. 28% are prescribed to reduce migraines or the other painful side effects of PMS. 14% to treat acne. Mine actually caused it, which caused me to have to be on antibiotics. And then 4% to treat, endometriosis or PCOS or whatever. So, but it doesn't treat it. And then the longer that it goes on being a problem, the harder that it is to fix. So my issues, I'm 35 or 6 or 4. I'm in my mid 30s, and I think I'm 35. Anyways, sorry. So anyways, that's a long time to go untreated and masked. So obviously I'm not going to just get my periods back. But the fact that I'm seeing them and I'm kind of feeling normal again, that's telling me that my body is starting to work. Anyway, so a lot of the problems that being on these medications can cause aren't necessarily noticeable right away. They can take years to kind of surface. And we're not even really aware now of the health risk. So, for example, you are given some oral contraceptive that lowers your vitamin B6, your B12, your folic acid. That in turn, long scientific road, but that in turn causes plaque buildup. And then the plaque buildup in your arteries years later can cause obviously heart attack or stroke or even something like a cardiac bypass surgery, or whatever. Also, these medications deplete our bodies of vitamin B, and that causes depression. Being low in vitamin B causes depression. So many of us women, God bless us, we're just walking around medicated for whatever reason, and it's a food deficiency. It's a nutrient deficiency. It's not us. It's not our wrong mistakes or wrongdoings. It's not knowing what our body needs. And obviously I'm not against doctors or whatever, but in my experience, it took me a long time to find the right doctor to help me with this, and a more holistic minded doctor. If we got sick, obviously I would go to the doctor. I'm not bashing anybody that's on medication, but it's just knowing why you're taking something, and sometimes it's a simple fix. It's as simple as eat a sweet potato and you'll feel better. I mean, it's really crazy, but it is. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm probably talking too long, but I'm gonna talk about how to exercise in your flow. Ooh, am I there? Okay, so I'm talking about how to exercise in your flow. Now, I know the big rule is to follow a program all the way through. And I have done that. But I would say if you have somebody coming in and you think that they have hormonal issues, I would say maybe not 21-day fix. maybe something like PIO or 3-week yoga retreat, somebody that has period issues. And you would have to get personal and ask them questions, back and forth, but you're already doing that anyway, trying to figure out how best to serve them and what exercise programs they would like the best. So this would be an extra little conversation maybe that you could have. I don't know. But so in your follicular phase, that's like the week after your period. We start getting our energy back after our period. And so this is a time where like there's new neuro connections happening in our brain. There's some crazy scientific stuff that happens that's super cool, but it kind of it's good for your challengers. They'll likely stick to new routines and new activities and during this time. So I thought this is really, really cool. So this next challenge group that I'm doing, I have offered to work with anybody who wants to, for me to kind of make, like, I know it's kind of like a hybrid workout routine or whatever, but depending on where they are in their cycle, I'm going to plug in their exercises. And I feel like, especially for those that have already went through one thing and they're showing, progress, this is just another extra step for them. But anyway, so in the follicular phase, we have the energy to kind of go for those more challenging workouts. We like something like a core de force or even size, because these our bodies are kind of putting our bodies in like this stimulating kind of situation for our brain. It feels a little easier that way. So anybody who's tried size, like that would be the only week that I would be able to do it, because I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. So then our ovulatory phase, and each phase lasts, roughly 7 days. So 7 days in your follicular phase, 7 days in your ovulatory phase, essentially. You are good in your ovulatory phase, like high impact group settings. You're more social. And so your energy levels are like at their all-time high. So ovulatory phase, I think that would be, pretty much anything that's high impact. So this would be 21 day fix. This would be anybody who likes Insanity or P90X or something. But I also feel like the group setting kind of answers itself, because people are listening on a DVD or, on Beachbody On Demand. And so they kind of feel like they're together and they're already in a challenge group or whatever. So that group setting kind of is there. So then you go into your luteal phase or your PMS phase. And the first half, you may have the energy still, but then towards the end of that week, you kind of scale back a little bit and reserve some of that energy. You want to scale back on the intensity as well. And the last several days before your period begins, this would be a perfect time for like PIO. Your body needs that that inner kind of just stretching, and it's super good for your body. And then, during your menstrual phase, this is a really great time to rest and recover. This would be a super good time for, especially the first couple days, would be great for just yoga. Your body needs the stretching to help, all kinds of other different things. And so the yoga would be great. And then towards the end of that, you might feel your energy coming back up. And that's the whole cycle. That's when you go back into the follicular phase. So I think I'm going to start working on maybe something for my challengers, like a graphic, so that they can kind of pick and choose in what cycle they're in. Because again, like I said, when we're working at this kind of functional standpoint with our bodies in this cyclical kind of pattern, our bodies respond different. I mean, we're not the same every single day. We're not the same every single week. And so, anyways, I think I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, I'm done.
No, I'm like on the edge of my seat. I'm like, Are you kidding me? I had no idea about any of this. I've been a female for 31 years. How old am I? Wait a minute.
See, it's hard. It's hard once you get in the mid-30s or the 30s.
Yeah, I think I'm 31. Speaking of questioning my age, do hormones affect like brain fog or memory?
For sure.
Because I got no brain capacity, zero memory.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of that. Actually, when we get off, everybody just Google adrenal fatigue and see what what you feel checks off for you there, because brain fog is very, very that's a huge sign of adrenal fatigue.
I'm pretty sure my husband and I have about 4 conversations a day about. Did you not remember I told you that? I have no recollection. Are you my husband? Who are you? Why are you in my house? Like, I have no clue what's going on. The majority of my life.
Some of that might be like adrenal fatigue, but then some of that might be like, I have 2 kids.
Yeah. Correct. That's so funny. No, this has been amazing. I don't see any questions, but I see girls who are like, this is such an eye-opener. And
good. Yay.
Even said, gosh, this was perfect because that was me last week. She started Body Bee, so apparently that was a good week for her. The 2 books that you mentioned, I think Carrie wrote them in with the links. I'm just making sure we have them right. Women's Wisdom.
Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom.
Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom. And the first one is the Woman Code.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh, and I forgot. I was gonna tell you. She just came out with My Flow app, and it's a period tracker. But it is the most genius period tracker ever created. I think it might be $1 or $2, but every single day you can track your symptoms, and then it will tell you, like what I just said. It'll tell you, this sounds like your estrogen is too high. Do this. This is how to live. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah. Once you go read that book, you're going to be like, oh, she wasn't that was not that mind blowing, because it's all.
No, this is mind blowing, because I mean, I joke that I've been a woman for 31 years, but like, nobody talks about this stuff. And This is like the symptoms that go along with all this, like up and down. It's really life affecting. Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
Leanne wanted to know the name of the website that you mentioned, Flow something, which I'm sure has to do with the app.
Yes, Flow Living. Oh, the app is My Flow app, but there's a website that you could also go to, and also on the website.
Flow Living or Flow Living?
flowliving.com.
Okay.
And then on that website, you can take a hormonal quiz, which I think everybody should do. It's super good. I always give it to all the challengers in the group, so that we can see where they are. But it will tell you at the end, by all these little questions, are you estrogen dominant and what that means for you, or if you're high in testosterone or whatever, and then how to kind of combat that. So it's super, super good.
Sorry, I'm entertaining my 2-year-old that's awake at 10 o'clock. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm looking at the chat box. This was so helpful. This was so valuable, Chasity. So I know it's like forever. I don't know your passage, maybe we're finding it. So you said for years you just like researched this, and you were like, why? Now I know why. Because it's only starting here. You're gonna help so many people.
I mean, if I can help somebody not go down the roads that I did, that would be great.
Yeah, would be great. Absolutely. Guys, a hand raise if this was helpful for you. God, you see that?
Yay.
What a blessing. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, this was so valuable. I'll upload this to YouTube, and I'll post the recording in Moxie, guys. So if you wanted to rewatch it, take some notes, share those notes with your challenge groups. I mean, this is valuable stuff that would help your customers and coaches get greater results, really, and feel better. And that's the ultimate goal. All right. So you guys have a wonderful night, okay?
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.